All right, Star Kuiper Jr. back for week 2 in the lot. Joining you here from our outdoor studios at Star Vegas Inc. This is what you get when you go 4-1 in week 1. To the victor goes the spoils. So let's get right to it this week. Got a lot to cover. First, I got Mama at Outlaw, calling it the Lawyer Bowl. Mama's getting 11. The player I love for Mama this week is Jimmy Graham. You know, Cleveland, TJ Ward moved on via free agency. He's playing for the Broncos now. Nobody in that secondary can really hang with Jimmy Graham. I expect a big week from him. The player I hate for Mama is Joique Bell. Going up against that Carolina front seven, we saw what Doug Martin got last week. You know, 9 carries, 9 yards. Not going to be good production from Joique Bell this week. For Outlaw, the player I love is actually the Broncos D. That Chiefs offense looks inept. Look for them to get Jamal Charles more involved. Problem's going to be when Tweedy throws 4 touchdowns and they're up 28-7 at the end of the first quarter, they're not going to be able to run the ball that much. So look for the Broncos D to really keen in on Alex Smith and have a big day there. The player I hate for Outlaw is Roddy White. It's a good Bengals secondary. They got a lot of top-notch corners over there. A lot of mouths to feed in that Atlanta offense too. You know, you got Julio Jones, Harry Douglas. You got all those guys coming out playing wide receiver. They're playing 4 wide in Atlanta, so a lot of mouths to feed there, a lot of balls to go around. I just don't think Roddy White has a real big game this week. All that being said, I like Outlaw to win, but Mama to cover the 11-point spread. Let's move on to Hooligan at Ben. I'm calling it New School Hooligan versus Old School Hooligan. It's a pick'em game right now. There's no line, so this one should be pretty easy. The player I love for Hooligan is Gio Bernard. The Falcons gave up 2 rushing touchdowns and a chunk of yards from the air to the New Orleans backs last week, and that's right up Gio's alley, so I expect him to do pretty well. The player I hate for Hooligan is Larry Fitzgerald. He's no longer the focal point of that offense. You know, he only got targeted a couple times in the Monday night game. He's basically the underneath possession receiver now. They're using Michael Floyd to sort of take the top off the defense, so Larry Fitzgerald is not going to contribute like Larry Fitzgerald did circa 2009, okay? Moving over to Ben's side, I love Matt Forte. DeMarco Murray had lots of success against that 49er D. I think Chicago's going to try to run the ball. They've got some dinged-up wideouts. I think they're probably going to try to take time off the clock and keep that San Francisco offense off the field. So look for Matt Forte to have a big game. The player I hate for Ben is Le'Veon Bell. Baltimore really did a nice job of handcuffing Gio last week. And look for him to sort of scale back his performance. You know, the Browns look sort of inept covering the short area passing game for the running backs and the rushing game. I think Baltimore is going to be a little bit more up to the test. So scale back your expectations for Le'Veon Bell this week. I've got Ben to win and cover in this game. Let's go Scoresman at Kitty. Kitty's getting 1. This one I'm terming what can I find at Scores? Well, you can find Scoresman and you can find lots of Kitty. So that's what we're calling this game this week. I love the Arizona D. Eli and the Giants are absolutely inept, just abysmal. They can't get on the same page. They can't move the ball. They can't get first downs. Rashard Jennings is the best option for them, and I really think Arizona is going to put the clamps on New York's offense. So love that Arizona D. I hate Zach Stacy. Not only is he in a timeshare role, but the Tampa D will be focused on stopping the run. With a third-string quarterback in there, they're going to dare him to throw the ball. So I just don't think Zach Stacy's going to have a real big game this week. For Kitty, I love Antonio Brown. You know, A.J. Green really torched Baltimore last week, and Brown is a faster, more dynamic option than A.J. Green. They're going to use him in the slot. They're going to get him on the bubble screens. They can throw it deep. So I think he's really going to have a good game this week. The player I hate, just talked about the Giants and their offense, Victor Cruz. He's asking for more targets. Hope you can catch with your feet, Victor, because that's where Eli's throwing it. Just terrible right now. I wouldn't even have Victor Cruz in my starting lineup because I just don't think he's playable at this point. Right now, it looks like Scoresman's got a little bit more oomph in his lineup, a couple better matchups, so I'm going with Scoresman to win and cover. Let's move over to Fuff at Stinker. Fuff's getting 4. I'm calling this game looks like shit and smells like shit. Love for Fuff Rogers. You know, he had a tough matchup last week. Obviously, Fuff put him on the bench. It was a good move. This year, he gets the Jets. The Jets got a rookie last week. No rookie this week. I think Rogers is gonna burn the Jets this week. They haven't seen a quarterback like him yet this year, and I think he's gonna do real well. Hate Lamar Miller. Hard to not like what Noshawn did last week against the Patriots. I can guarantee you that the coaches have been looking at that, and I think Lamar Miller is pretty close to not only losing that starting job, but really getting diminished amount of touches because of what Noshawn did last week. For Stinker, I love Frank Gore. Fred Jackson did a number on the Chicago D last week. So look for San Francisco to really exploit that run D in Chicago, and I think Frank Gore's a nice play. I hate Keenan Allen. Look, even if the Chargers sacrifice Malcolm Floyd by lining him up on Sherman's side, the rest of the Seattle secondary is still too good. They're going to shut down Keenan Allen. We saw him struggle against a good Arizona secondary last week. I just don't think he's going to get it done this week. So, with all that said, I think Stinker's got a little bit more. I like Stinker to win and cover. Lastly, we've got the game of the week. It's Shark at Star. Shark's getting 3. I'm calling this one Maritime Warfare Part 1. For Shark, I love Cordero Patterson. Belichick tries to scheme to stop one player. Obviously, it's probably going to be Peterson. So I like Patterson to be the focal point and the weapon for Minnesota this week. The player I hate is the Bengals D. Matty Ice is really smart with the football. He's got a lot of weapons to cover. I don't think the Bengals are going to have a particularly strong defensive effort this week. For Star, I love the Rams D. The Bucs offense looked predictable. Should have no problem stopping the run and getting to the quarterback as well. That offensive line's pretty bad. Can't really stop many people, so I think the Rams D is going to have a nice week. The player I hate is Cutler. He's got 2 starting O-linemen that are going to be out of the lineup, and he's also got 2 starting wideouts in Jeffrey and Marshall that are a little bit dinged up right now. I think they're both going to play, but they might not be at 100%. So Cutler's not the best play in the world this week. With all that being said, I like Shark to win. It's my upset special of the week. So there you have it. Everybody have a great week too. Looking forward to seeing you on the board, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.